Welcome to Of Sound Mind and Spirit. I'm Shelly.
And I'm Lisa. We're sisters walking together on a journey of faith. We're not perfect.
We definitely don't have all the answers.
We're inviting you to walk with us as we explore ways we can better know and grow in our faith together. Welcome back to another episode from Of Sound Mind and Spirit. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Shelly.
And oh my gosh, it is almost Christmas. Can you believe that?
No, I can't believe it. Someone told me the other day that we are 2 weeks away from Christmas at the time of this recording. And no, I couldn't believe it. Not ready.
I think that's pretty common for adults, at least. I mean, kids, it's like, yes, let's go. It's so exciting, all the things. And as adults, as we've talked about, Shelly, in several of our previous podcasts, we adults have a lot of responsibility and there's just stuff and always. And so, I don't know.
When we talked a few weeks ago, I didn't have a full calendar. And I was thinking, I've got lots of time. I'm going to, designate a day closer to Christmas to do all the banana nut bread baking. And on my husband's side, the peanut brittle, get the ingredients for the peanut brittle. And now I'm looking at the calendar going, hang on a second. Where did my free days go? Kids get out this week and oh my goodness.
I know. I think, Shelly, for me, it always happens that way. So I'm actually pretty calm because I had to say this is my normal. So why fight it? This is who God made me to be. So I am trying in the middle of my middle-aged life to accept who I am, and just, I don't know, embrace each day, and it will all get done. So there's no reason for me to be crazy miserable, or me crazy making everyone else miserable in the process. Maybe
you want to rub some of that off on me, because I'm actually starting to feel like mom. I love you, Mom. I'm starting to get that. I don't have time. And why don't I have time? I should have time.
It'll all be okay. Because as we've talked about, what is Christmas about? What is the reason for the season, Shelly? Do you remember?
Jesus.
Jesus
is coming.
You said that with a lot of confidence. Do you want to try that again? What's the reason for the season?
We're still in Advent. We're preparing. And by the very nature, I know we recorded a couple of episodes ago about Advent not being that crazy. Don't get crazy in the holidays or whatever we did.
Overcoming holiday stress, episode 26.
Thank you, Lisa. I know I can count on you for that one. But all of a sudden, it's like I had this great advice and it's gone.
Yes. And for some reason, you're usually the more even keel one, and I'm usually the crazy stressed one. And for some reason, we're flipped this week. So I am going to
flip it back. I want my calm back.
No, I want to stay on this side of it. All of your words of wisdom have rubbed off on me in the best way, Shelly. And so I guess my craziness rubbed off on you. So let's keep it that way, at least throughout this holiday season.
How about I just rejoin you on that other side? But then we'll both be calm, right?
Well, one thing that we do know is our families will expect some presents under the tree.
Oh my goodness.
And there's a lot of pressure as a parent, I feel like, trying to find that perfect gift for your children or your mom or mom, by the way, if you're listening, let me know what you want. Trying to find that perfect gift for somebody. And it does cause a lot of kind of angst. And then not to mention the cost of said gifts.
I guess several years ago, my husband and I tried to scale it back and be that family that took a cue from Pinterest and something you want, something you need, something to wear, something to read. And then we had a small gift from Santa. And we said we were going to stick to that. And then on Christmas morning, what I discovered was that my husband was the one stashing extra little presents under the tree because, he saw it. He just had to get it. Yeah. And I said, what happened to our agreement and our budget? And he was like, I didn't think you'd mind.
Yeah, because it's for you, sweetie. So it's all good.
And then as the girls got older, my young adults buy each other gifts and they buy us gifts. And so our scaled down Christmas has just kind of grown naturally this time
Hmm.
because the kids have gotten older. Are you experiencing that yet?
I find it a little more difficult to buy for them now that they're bigger.
Right.
So, kids, if you're listening, let me know. My husband and I have kind of a set pattern. We usually get each other something along the same lines. Like I have a gift for him that I buy every year, just a new one of, and he kind of does the same for me. So we're pretty good. We're both very practical. So there might be some socks and I think I've gotten bath towels a few times, things like that.
Bath towels are on my list. Hey, didn't you both get each other the exact same thing one year?
We did. We did. That was hysterical, actually. We bought each other a waffle maker. And so
What, I mean, so it sounds so random.
we both unwrapped waffle makers. And yeah, I know. I have a picture of it. I should post it on social. It was actually really funny.
Yeah.
We like our waffles.
Well, going back to the beginning, Lisa, when you asked me what is the reason for the season, the Christmas season, not Advent preparing, but the Christmas season that is rapidly approaching. There's somebody else we need to make sure we put presents under the tree for.
My dog. Oh.
No, not your dog. Somebody who similarly, my birthday is right after Christmas, but this person's birthday is actually on Christmas.
Okay, that was a good hint. Thank you. You mean Jesus?
Yes.
Gifts for
Yes.
Jesus?
Well,
It is his birthday. He is the reason for the season. So my family has never done gifts for Jesus, just to be completely honest. So, and I know that's something that y'all have experienced, and that's what you're going to be sharing with us today, right, Shelly?
when my girls were little and we were at our parish church in our other home, they had an event where they invited all the CCE elementary kids to come, and we did something called Gifts for Jesus. And that's what made me think of it is we're always buying for ourselves and for each other at this time of year, but we are supposed to be preparing our hearts. And what better way than to put some gifts under the tree that aren't necessarily wrapped, but are gifts to Jesus and to each other and to ourselves.
So, I guess the question begs, what kind of gifts do you give Jesus?
Well, what do you think the King of Kings would like?
Our love and adoration.
Yes, that's a good one. The greatest commandment.
But practically, what? So you're gonna have to help me out here because I'm like, he doesn't need socks. Like, what am I getting? What am I buying?
Okay. So this year and every year, Jesus would like us to practice joy, patience, respect, human dignity, forgiveness, peace, hope, ways that we can treat others with Christ's love and share his love with others.
So basically, live as we're supposed to be living as followers of Christ.
Intentionally.
Yeah. I like that. That's funny because when we talked about our Advent episode, which I think was episode 28, joyful anticipation, we talked about being very intentional about not having to do extra things, but doing things that we're doing with love, with the love of Christ in mind, right? And showing that to everyone else. And so that's what I'm hearing you say here is that the gifts for Jesus are intentional things that we're giving to other people or doing for other people or loving other people and reflecting God's love in it. Right?
It's how you and your family can gift your actions to Jesus.
Could we go through some examples?
Okay, so joy. How
Okay.
do you spread joy to others?
How about greeting people with a smile, maybe in the holiday season and being like, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, that kind of thing?
Absolutely.
Being nice. How about being nice to people you meet who are working in retail?
No, that's a really good one. I can't remember. Did you ever work in retail?
I waited tables.
You waited
I don't know if that
tables.
counts as retail, but the restaurant industry is a difficult industry on the holidays too.
Yeah, and I could never do the food industry, so I did retail. I always like to say that everybody in the US at least should work at least one Christmas retail or
And
work
people might.
retail for one Christmas season because it will make you actually use these gifts. It will make you be patient. It will make you be much more aware and giving back to others if you've
Mhm.
worked on that side of the cash register.
It would probably make you be a little nicer to the people you encounter. So, what about you? What is an example for you of how to give Jesus this gift of joy?
Well, one thing would be to reach out to people that you aren't able to be with at Christmas time. That you could make it a special point to call someone on the phone or FaceTime with them. We have family in Oklahoma that we don't see on the holidays, and we try every year, if not Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or sometime during the season, that we call them and FaceTime and say Merry Christmas and I love you and all those wonderful things.
I like that. That's good. Okay, what about the next one? So, the next one you said was not one of my favorites, and it was patience. I'm not good at this. Jesus knows this. So, for me to give him a gift of patience, he would really understand the sacrifice, I think.
It's not supposed to be a sacrifice. These are things you're supposed to embrace doing. And if he's giving you the opportunity to practice it, then he's saying you might need to practice
I
it.
know I need to practice it. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so
Oh.
I mean, I think patience is self-explanatory, but how about an example? Do you have one?
Well, going back to retail, it's when you're waiting in line and you're trying to be patient and you get up to that cashier and you say, thank you for working today. And, you're patient and you're calm and understanding. So you could wait your turn without complaining. How about I say it like
Ooh.
that?
When you're circling the parking lot, looking for that parking space at Christmas Eve Mass, and you're getting frustrated.
Leaving from mass and trying to get out of the church or trying to get out of your spot and when everybody wants to stand behind you and talk, that's when I have to
Yes.
practice patience and not be in a hurry.
Circling the
So
lot at the grocery store or the mall or somewhere else. Yeah. That's a good one. Okay, number 3 that you said, if I remember, was respect.
that's when you try to teach your kids early, um, just the way that you treat people. When my girls were little, we used to teach them, if someone has their door closed to their bedroom, you want to be respectful and knock before you just barge in. So it's something that simple.
Yeah, I like that. Something that I am really bad at that I can choose to work on this Christmas season for Jesus would be to not interrupt people when they're talking. I'm sure you have noticed that about me, Shelly, right?
No, no,
I
never.
I get excited and I have so much to say and I step on people's words, and so being respectful of what they have to say and wait my turn, that could probably work for me.
Yeah, I have to practice that one too. Maybe this year I'll be very intentional and offer it up as a gift for Jesus. Well, there's lots of little ways that you can show respect to one another by letting someone go first, by listening to them finish their talk, asking before you take their stuff. I mean, this is all things that we're going to experience when the kids come back from college and they just naturally fall into their patterns of who's going to use the bathroom first because everybody's sharing a bathroom again.
I hadn't thought about that one. Don't remind me. All right, number 4 that you said for gifts for Jesus was human dignity, respecting the dignity of each person, I'm assuming.
Right. And this one goes back to that episode we talked about embracing the dignity of life about Granny.
That was episode 24.
I love how you know this.
I'm well versed in our podcast.
I was doing good pulling the title out of my head. So, for human dignity, the first thing that came to mind was actually going and visiting someone who's in a nursing home or someone who's far away, or just making time to see them and recognize them as a person.
That's
Yeah.
important.
So my daughter is one of those who puts together little homeless bags. What do you call
Hmm.
them? But she puts together these little bags that she keeps in her car, and they're usually Ziploc bags, and they have, a pair of socks, toothpaste, a bottle of water, a healthy protein snack, and since she lives in the city, it's not uncommon for her to see people and have something at the ready if she is approached by someone at a stoplight.
Hmm. I would also maybe add to that list checking in on friends or family who maybe find the holidays very difficult.
Oh, I like that.
So
Yeah.
seeing just reaching out to them, and if they need to have a talk, if they want to go have coffee, if they just just to know that they're not forgotten, and that the holidays aren't super happy for everybody. And so just making that acknowledgement and seeing if they're okay.
Hmm. So the next one that I have on my list is peace. And you and I just came back from our parish mission, our parish Advent mission, and we heard from the wonderful Deacon Harold Burke Sivers. And something he said today made me think, came right up when I said the word peace. He said that we are afraid of silence and that we fear silence because it is in the silence that we hear God's voice speaking to us. And so a gift of peace would be to be silent, to be still and experience God in our hearts. So,
Mm-hmm.
in that crazy bustle of everything that's about to explode in terms of families being home and trying to find the quiet and trying to make peace.
I love that. I actually made a note on my journal today about that he said that too. And how many times have we on the podcast talked about being still and being silent? I mean, just recently we talked a lot about it during Advent, in our Advent podcast.
You
Um,
talk about it every single episode.
I think I do. I really,
Yes, we should
yes,
have a bingo card. Lisa says, "Oh, God's just telling me to be still,
be
and know, be
quiet.
still."
Maybe because I talk too much. Of course, if I didn't
Yeah.
talk too much, maybe we wouldn't have a podcast. I don't know. But one of the things that I do, and I think I mentioned this before, one of the things I really do like to do at Christmas time is to sit and look at my tree, to sit in the dark. Just and I did a reel on Instagram, I don't know, recently, a week or two ago, when I put the tree up, that I love. Well, like, it stops me. I walk through the house and I see it, and I stop and I stare at it, and then I find myself smiling, and it gives me a sense of calm and peace. I don't know. The tree just gives me that reminder of what we're doing. And so I would say, for, gift for Jesus, for peace, is to find that what gives you that sense of calm and peace. And maybe not just for you, but what does it give for your family? Like, your kids, your spouse, your loved ones, do they have something that helps them feel, those warm and fuzzies, that peaceful feeling? And just see if you can find a way to incorporate that into your, I'll say, your week, your day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, offer that up. And
Mm-hmm.
your tree is very beautiful. And we finally put ours up. And so when you said that sitting and looking at your tree brings you peace, um, we put ours up yesterday. And the first thing that silly little house elf did was wrap it with toilet paper this morning. So my tree is not bringing me peace at the moment.
Yeah.
One more year for Elf on the Shelf, and we should be done.
Darn elf. Mine just shows up and sits in the tree now because I put him there.
Hmm. Well, Lisa, there's another one up here, and maybe talking about Elf on the Shelf makes me think of it, and that is forgiveness. And I laid into it kind of joking, but it's a very important, not just a sacrament in the Catholic Church, but forgiveness is very restorative to our souls in helping us come back to God. And so there's there's this great thing at Advent time, which is to go to reconciliation, to forgive ourselves, to forgive others, to be forgiven by God. And that's something we can give to Him, that opportunity to have and offer forgiveness.
I agree, completely agree. I think that it is hard to have the rest of these gifts for Jesus, your peace, your joy, all these things, if you're holding on to sin, if you're holding on to grudges, if you are holding on to anger, and forgive others. There's a lot of family dynamics at the holidays that, for a lot of people, are very difficult.
Mhm.
So find a way to forgive others and to forgive yourself. I think that
Mhm.
is super important. Um, and offer that to others. Just go out of your way to say I'm sorry. Not I'm sorry, but just to, you know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
you I made a mistake. I am a child of God. I am a sinner. I know that I mess up sometimes, and I'm sorry. That's
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
I think it would help all of us go into the holidays, into Christmas a little lighter. And I think making that intentional apology and letting go of some of that would definitely be a gift for Jesus.
And that leads into hope.
Yeah. So hope is an interesting one because that is what Advent, that's what Christmas, it's all about, is hope for the world, right?
Mhm.
The coming of the baby, the coming of Christ, coming of the Savior offers hope to the world. And I'm reminded of my favorite Christmas hymn, which is "O Holy Night." And the line is, "The thrill of hope, a weary world rejoices." And every time, actually, I have a t-shirt that says that. And every time I hear that line in the song, I just feel very emotional because we are so weary. Our world is chaos and just so much. There's so much going on all the time. And when you this season, you look at the tree, you look at the star, you look at the creche, you know what it's about. It's all about hope. You have hope
Mhm.
because Jesus is born.
And so take this opportunity to offer hope to others by doing small things. Like you and I've already kind of mentioned with others about writing a letter or of encouragement to someone, or reaching out to others, especially this time of year when they may be missing a loved one, or they may be separated from family during Christmas time, and giving them that hope that they will see their loved one, or that someone cares about them, and that we're thinking of them.
And you know what else? It might be something so small, like just doing a kind act for somebody, or being, like we talked about earlier, about patience and joy, that giving someone the, something bad happens when you're out and about, and just being gracious about it. No, it's
Mhm.
fine. I'm not in a rush. You go ahead, whatever. I think that seeing seeing the goodness in other people this Christmas season might be that spark that a person needs to have hope once again, to know
Mhm.
that there are good people out there, or good things can happen. So whether it's, buying a Toys for Tots or a Christmas gift for somebody, or just, letting them go first in line, you just never know what that little spark might be for somebody, to help them remember um, that Jesus has come to save us.
Well, and actually looking back at all of these gifts that we've talked about, joy, patience, respect, human dignity, forgiveness, peace, they all kind of lead to hope.
Mm-hmm.
And so hope kind of encompasses all of them in that respect.
I really I really love this, Shelly, that you brought this to us today, because if you think about it, what you just told us about these gifts for Jesus and these seven things, to me it kind of bridges Advent and Christmas together. Because if you go back and think about what we talked about what is Advent and the joyful anticipation, and then how do you get from Advent to Christmas morning? So it's not just
Mhm.
a flurry of, oh my gosh, I got a new whatever under the tree, but you can sit and recall, oh, this is, we also gave these gifts to Jesus.
Mhm. And in giving them to Jesus, we give them to ourselves because we find joy in helping bring joy to others. Others receive peace when we find peace, treating everyone with respect as a human being made in the likeness and image of God. That gives them hope for their future also. Forgiving people. I mean, we cannot stress that enough, that giving people the grace and giving them our forgiveness is not just for our own souls and our own selves. It models for our children, it models for others that we can offer that. So, oh, and you know the best part?
No, what's the best part?
None of these gifts require a credit card.
I like that. I like that.
They're not going to appear.
They're all budget friendly. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yes, and it's actually the way we should
Yeah.
probably be doing gifts more are things like this that are experiences, and I'm not saying experiences that require a plane ticket. These
Right.
are
Right.
experiences that we can give to each other that help us to grow in our love and in our spirituality and in our relationship and in our community with one
Hmm.
another.
When you originally did this, or your old parish, was there a physical something that you created to put under the tree so that, because here's the thing, I want I want the family to know we're doing this, like a tangible something, rather than just me telling them, because that, they love it when mom tells them stuff.
That's a good point. And I do still have this. We wrapped a shoebox. This is going to
Okay.
sound so silly. We took a shoebox because it was a hands-on craft for the elementary students. But we took a shoebox and we wrapped it in Christmas paper and we cut a
Hmm.
hole out on the top. And then we made little different colored cards. And on the front, we had written joy or patience or forgiveness,
Hmm.
hope, etc. And then we asked for the littler kids, we gave them prompts. But for the older kids, we had them write on the back something that they could do that would bring joy to others, or something they could do that would offer hope, or a way that they could be patient, like waiting for mom to get off the phone before you came up and mom, 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 mom. So they were all age specific, the ones that we did with the kids, of course. But as adults, I mean, you could keep a little group of index cards and just write something to each other. It's not that we're giving it to the other person so much as that we're practicing it and that it leads to a greater awareness and becomes habit forming. And the more often we take that opportunity to be a certain way, then we grow and become that way.
I like that, so that we're not forgetting everything that we've done on, like the December 26th. Okay, let's just go back to the way we were. Hopefully, we've grown and we keep those habits, those good things, that intentionality, and we just keep growing in our discipleship and grow closer to Christ in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if our memory serves, when we did it with the cards, with the age appropriate action, we kept the cards out, and the kids had to do that action before they could put the card inside the box as the gift for Jesus. So that the end of the
Okay.
Christmas, the kids would we could open the box and see all the things that people had
Hmm.
intentionally done in ways that they practiced
Oh, I like that.
these gifts. So sorry I didn't mention that earlier.
No, no. I just had this memory of you talking, because I remember the kids were little. I had that memory of it. So I like that. I know that some people don't need tangible, things like that. But I think for me, I need the reminder. If I see something physical, then it will help me, trigger like oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing that.
Okay. Okay. So, Lisa, when we're done, go and get some index cards and write some of your ideas on the back of them and then put them somewhere. And when you need something to do, grab one, put it into practice, and then go put it under the tree.
Can I make a fancy decorated shoebox, please?
Yes, you may. I was going to tell you, you could also like hang it on the tree like an ornament, but
I need to bling something. Let's do it.
you can bling it. You can probably go and get a template somewhere if you want.
I'm sure it's on Pinterest.
Don't ask me to
already.
do it. Well, I'd just like to remind everybody that last week when we talked to Mom about our holiday traditions, we did say that if they sign up for our email list during the month of December and January, that we will send them out some of our holiday recipes that we talked about, like the banana nut bread that I need to make time next week to make. That's going to take a lot of these gifts. It's going to bring me joy, but I'm going to have to practice a lot of patience, and there's going to be a lot of crossing and fingers and hoping that everything comes out right.
Yes, I actually bought my buttermilk today to start my banana nut bread. And dear listener, thank you so much for all of the love and support and response that you've given to our episode with our mom, which was episode 29, Holiday Traditions. We've heard from so many of you, and Mom was super, super nervous in recording that episode with us. And your responses have just made her happy and grateful that she did it. And we really appreciate that. That is, y'all are just the most wonderful community. If you're behind in listening, I will say that post Christmas, that time period is a great time to catch up on podcast listening. I do a lot of it during then because you're walking off everything you ate and you're having to take down decorations and clean the house and pick up stuff, and perfect time to catch up on all of our episodes that we've done. Can you believe, Shelly, we have been podcasting for
6 months.
Who thought we wouldn't make it this long?
Me. I see you raising your hand over there.
It's been good. It's been a really good experience for us. And we're looking forward to, all the new topics that we have for the new year. I am going to go get started on my banana bread.
And I'm going to go see if another package got dropped off while we were recording.
All right, dear listener, thank you for being here. And we will see you next week for Christmas.
Bye, y'all.